much, Brother Shahran. Okay. Okay. So I hope everyone can listen to my voice clearly and
Yes.
you can see my slides already, right?
Yes, very nice.
Thank you very much. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. I am Fathiyyatunnur Binti Idris, as mentioned by Brother Sharon just now. I'm from Center for Foundation Studies, IIUM Gambang. So my topic for the paper is exploring the perceptions of religious pluralism among public universities students. Okay, so what is religious pluralism? So I believe all of you have your understandings of religious pluralism, but in my paper, I am focusing on the definitions or understanding given by the father of religious pluralism, and that is John Hick. So according to John Hick, he defined religious pluralism as a philosophy that claims all religions are aiming for the same truth, but it advocates for different paths to the same truth based on one's different religio, cultural, political context. In other words, religious pluralism is propagating that all religions in this world are aiming for the same truth or are aiming for the same God. But because of they are living in a different culture, they have a different religions and they have a different political ideology, that's why they have a different interpretations of that truth. But this philosophy, this religious pluralism is totally contradicting to Islam. Because according to us, we believe that Islam is the only religion in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as mentioned in Al-Quran, A'udzubillahi minasyaitanir rajim, Inna dina indallahi Islam. Indeed, the religions in the sight of Allah is only Islam. So this philosophy is contradicting to Islam because of the fact that if we as a Muslim about to accept religious pluralism, and then it will be negating the previous prophets, the previous messenger who have done a lot of things to spread the da'wah to the entire globe. So that's why religious pluralism is contradicting to Islam. And apart from that, this philosophy has been declared to be deviated from the true teachings of Islam by the religious authority in Malaysia, which is JAKIM, Jabatan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia. And also it has been declared to be deviated from the government of Selangor, which is on 31st July 2014. Okay, so that's introduction. Now we will go to the method, to the objective. So because of the fact that university students are exposed with the contemporary discourses that are contradictory to Islam, which is nowadays we have the internet and whatnot. So these university students are expected to know all of these things. And then apart from that, the university students, they are expected to become the source of reference for the public, even though they are not majoring in Islamic studies, but still people will refer to them on issues related to Islam. And in this case, religious pluralism is without exception. Hence, this study aims to explore the perceptions of an Islamic public university students to the philosophy of religious pluralism and its debate. Now we will go to the methods that I am using to gather the data. So I use focus group discussion, which is there are 6 FGD focus group discussion consisted of 45 students. So this focus group discussion is basically I interview in one group there will be 6 to 8 students, and I'll interview them one by one. So there are 6 groups that I have interviewed, and I am using convenient sampling techniques, which is the availability sampling techniques. I just randomly choose the students, and then basically there are 2 questions that I ask, not 2 but more, but for this paper I'll ask 2 major questions, which is the first question: do you know the meanings of religious pluralism? If yes, can you please define the meaning? If no, why do you think you have no clue on its meaning? So that is the first question. And the second question, are you aware of the debates on religious pluralism in Malaysia and the individuals or scholars who are in support of or reject religious pluralism? So these are the two questions asked to the respondent. And then after I have gathered the primary data, I transcribe the data and analyze it thematically, meaning to say that first of all, I familiarize the data and then I do the coding. And then after the coding, I go to the searching of the themes and then I review all of the themes. And then I defined and naming the themes and the last would be writing up the report. So what are the report? So for the first question, related to understandings of religious pluralism, so basically the students have several definitions of religious pluralism. So 42%, which is 19 students, define religious pluralism to be religious syncretism. 22% of them, or which is 10 students, define religious pluralism as religious coexistence. And another 24%, which is 11 students, got the definitions of religious pluralism to be correct, which is religious equality. And the rest of them, which is 5 of them, are not really aware or are not do not really knows what is religious pluralism all about. So we can say that it is significantly low because this university is an Islamic institution, but there are only 24%, which is 11 of them, who know the real meanings of religious pluralism. Okay, so what is religious syncretism? So according to 19 students, religious pluralism is combining 2 or more religion. In other words, a person can be Muslims on Monday and then on Tuesday, he or she can be Hindu, and on another day, he can be Christian. So that is religious syncretism, which is the students give the answer. And then second, religious equality, which is the concept that propagates equality of religion, which is all religions are equal. And this is the correct understanding. And the last definition, according to them, would be religious coexistence, meaning many or plural religions in a society or community who are living harmoniously and peacefully. So there are only 11 of them, or 24% of them, who know the real meanings of religious pluralism, which is religious equality. So that's the first. And then the second question related to whether they are aware of the debates of religious pluralism in Malaysia. And 29 of them, 29%, which is 13 of them, aware of the debates, but 71% of them, which is 32 students, are not really aware of the debates of religious pluralism. So this is a bit of concern because they are in Islamic institutions, but they are not really knows the religious pluralism. Okay, so for those who know or who are aware of the debates in this philosophy, they name several scholars. Some of them, Brother Firdaus Wang, Dr. Zakir Naik, Dr. Daniel Zainal Abidin, and according to them, these 3 scholars or public figures are those who reject the philosophy of religious pluralism. And apart from that, some of the students explain certain issues related to religious pluralism, and this is, I believe, this is an current issues, which is the dispute between Muslims and the Catholic Christians over the use of kalimah Allah in the Bible. And apart from that, another issue related to the mixed celebration, because in Malaysia, there are certain celebration which is near to each other. So that's why they combine the celebration to be Depa Raya, which is Deepavali and Hari Raya. And another one, Kongsi Raya, they combining Konghi Fachai, or which is Chinese New Year, and also Hari Raya. And this is the efforts to push forward or to accept the philosophy of religious pluralism. And this is totally contradicting to the Islamic teaching. Okay, so this research is very important because this university student will be the sources of reference. But even though they are university students, this finding cannot be generalized because I am using a random sampling, so it cannot be generalized to the university itself and to the other public university or even private university. But still, this can be a benchmark lah for the next research or for further research. Given that the findings have shown that even the Muslim students are lack of understanding regarding the topic, it becomes more important to extend the study. Because if the student do not really knows this philosophy, and then it's very harmful to our Aqidah as a Muslim, because this can be considered to be an associations with God, which is shirk, and we do not want that to be happening to Muslims in general. I think that's it from me. Thank you very much.